Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP News, the unreliable ones. Ladies and gentlemen, how are you doing? Let's see, a quick PSA, and then we'll get into some of the news. I'm currently recording this on July 3rd. You guys should have had a video, another video from me about a day or two ago. My apologies. I wanted to make one more video like this before I was able to go through some of the older videos that I have. There's about 6 of them or so. You'll see that, for the next couple days. And I'll try to mix some new stuff in there too, but you'll definitely get all of that old stuff. This video that I'm making now, which you guys should have gotten a couple days ago, that would just tell you, hey, I got some old videos in the chute. I'm going to pull out the vault, throw that at you guys, and then we'll move forward, which is something that Phil's not doing very well right now. In any case, I'll just mention that to you guys now, so if you guys see a difference, you guys will understand, I hope. And that's it. That's the end for the public service announcement. Yay! Let's go into a couple of things before we get into the video at hand. First things first, James the Lesser Express Lane. Shouts out to James the Lesser Express Lane. Shouts out to the Crimson King, who did the puppet video, which is amazing. I'm sure you guys have all seen it up to this point. It's an absolutely masterful, genius video. It brings tears to my eyes every time I watch it, and I've watched it at least twice a day. It's a great video. So please check it out. I will link that I will leave a link to that in the description if you guys have not seen it. I'm sure you guys all have, because a bunch of you have sent me the link to it. So thank you very much, by the way. I very much appreciate it. So James Lesser Express, let's talk about him. So he's been grinding pretty heavily, and he actually had said something in a video a couple days ago that decided to draw my attention, and so I decided to go ahead and research it a little bit. So there's a revolt going on in Phil's over there in Phil's chat, amongst the moderators particularly. A bit of a revolution, if you will. Not really, but it could be something eventually. Well, basically the moderators are giving him pushback. Phil's fan base / chat is also giving him a bit of pushback, because they don't like the way the channel's going. They don't like the way Phil's content's going, and they don't like the way they're being treated. That's nothing that we haven't told you guys here, nor has any other detractor said anything to you about. But it's kind of funny getting to see it done in real time. Now, James had pointed out that maybe this is the final spark to lead to what would be the inevitability of DSP's downfall. It might not. It depends, to be honest with you. It certainly has created another splinter within Phil's already dwindling fan base. But still interesting nonetheless, gotta say. Seeing the moderators, or at least some of them, revolt is pretty interesting. But they might just be tired of the abuse. Wah, wah. Let's see, Phil's currently doing his Simpsons Hit and Run. The first 20 videos or so are all out of order. I guess, that's what you can expect from him. Phil is going to re-upload some old videos, and now I'm hearing some nonsense about he's going to react to his own videos when people seem interested in actually paying money to have him react. Excuse me, to have him reacting to detractor videos, and he won't do it. But he wants to react to his own videos though. But question though, isn't this the same man who said that reaction videos are like the lowest form of content on YouTube? That they're absolute garbage and trash? And yet he's getting ready to do it himself. Which leads to this interesting thesis that I've kind of come up with on how when Phil says something, he says it within the moment, and then he just walks away. And he doesn't remember it at all. So then when you bring it up to him, either it's a lie, he misspoken, it was taken out of context, whatever the case may be. Either which way, the excuses are rather pathetic, but it's still kind of interesting when you think about it. And I think that's why people watch Phil's shit, because it's just he's a nut. You know what I'm saying? He's nutty. He's nutty as hell, and he's okay with it. When you delve deeper into the whole Dave situation, the more layers you pull back, the more you see a man who can't really control himself. So in turn, he tries to control others. He's still and I've made this joke plenty of times, but he's still very much that 15-year-old who couldn't control his birthday present situation. And he's carried that with him. Now, keep in mind, everybody walks around with scars. I can understand that. You know what I mean? A scar, especially a physical one, is the proof that you're alive. It's the proof that at that particular moment, this happened to you. And it'll continue to live with you. And then you get into the debate about, well, what about mental scars? Especially people who come from war with like PTSD and things of that sort. So then you fall into that situation. A mental scar that has affected this man. And he's carried that with him. Anything and anybody that he may or may not have cherished at one time or another, if they went against him in any type of way, it was as if they abandoned him. And in turn, he made another scar mentally for himself. And then he uses that to justify his situations later. Forgetting that the moment he gained the scar, or he received the scar, he probably went on a video and talked about it. So now, he gave us the details right then and there, and then later on down the line, he forgot. So when he has to spin the narrative to be to his advantage, he doesn't even remember the details anymore. He just goes with what people think they want to hear. Like I said, that's just an ongoing type of situation that I've been formulating. I'll get into that maybe later on down the line. Still, interesting way of looking at it. Shouts out to Almighty Tevin and Argent. Not directly, but both of them actually kind of help inspire me to kind of think of that. So, shouts out to both of those guys. Praise be Almighty. Praise be. To the gout, snout, and doubt. Okay, so let's get to the video at hand, ladies and gentlemen. We are here with Snort Burnell, DSP Gaming. Oh baby, July goals. only I can react to videos and give me money to be free. Now, this right here stems from this little nonsense Phil's been doing, which you've seen on YouTube a little bit, where people say, hey, please contribute to my Patreon. Hey, please consider donating. Hey, please sponsor my channel or my video so you can keep this type of content free on YouTube. There's a lot of great channels that I like going to who do something similar to that, and there's a lot of channels that I go to who need to do that, I think. And I don't mean need to as in they're like in financial straits. I think they're the type of channels that provide the type of content that people should support, because you need these type of people to be doing what they're doing, to be honest. One of those people would be Gundam, or It's a Gundam. I feel like he's one of those channels that he should have a sponsor button. I think people need to sponsor his content. I think he's someone who's, for the first time, and I think in a long time, speaks on our behalf. You know what I'm saying? And he does it in such a way to where he needs a strong enough following to be actually heard. At the same time, obviously the more people that are behind you, the more of a threat people might consider you also. But I feel that it's important for someone like him, for example, to have that backing. It's not even about necessarily the financial aspect of it. It's just the fact that when you believe in someone's content, and when that person themselves believes in what he or she is doing, there should be support for them. But that's just my own personal opinion. Anyway, I've kind of blabbered on enough now. Let's go ahead and get into the video at hand. Should be good. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, this is DSP News. Always late, never breaking. Unreliable coverage that you can't count on. Oh yes, a GTG Network and Productions. You guys all know the slogan. It's time to watch me work. Yeah.
Holy shit! That is an epic fucking intro, dude. And I have to warn everyone. Warning. What you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting. Sound good?
Alright, sounds good to me.
Ladies and gentlemen, the goal is the 10th anniversary, fuck. I forgot what I was gonna call Fuck, what was I gonna call it? DSP's 10th anniversary. Oh, I think it was gonna. No, hold on. I think it was gonna be like a decade of fun, or a decade of hate, or a decade of something. DSP's 10th anniversary marathon event. What is this? Well, here's what I'm gonna do. All right. I totally botched this announcement.
Okay, so first things first. For something that means so much to you, being that this is your 10th anniversary, just pick a name and stick with it. You know what I'm saying? First off and foremost. Secondly, a decade of hate is befitting in a lot of ways, to be honest with you. And yet, at the same time, you kind of have to feel bad for him. You know, because remember, this moniker, the King of Hate, was, at least in his words, was to take all the hate and negativity that was thrown at him in the FGC and turn it to a source of power. To allow it to empower him and motivate him to keep moving forward, because all these people didn't believe in him, or they didn't believe in his skill or his talent, and this was the driving force to make him move forward. Kind of like when Kanye years ago used to say that he used to take people's hate and use it as steam to power his dream, for example. The thing is with Phil, is the truth anyway, or the reality of it, is he's the one who perpetuated his own hate. He knew what he was doing when he was antagonizing people. He knew exactly what he was doing. It was a way of him. It was a way of him getting in. A lot of people could say the same thing with Low Tier God, with how Low Tier God went about it, doing what he was doing, pissing off certain people in the FGC, challenging people to matches and this, that, and the third, and then losing or whatever the case may be. But the thing is he had a decent showing, and even in a loss, he took the loss. You know, he took the L. Dave has never been able to do that. Dave has to come up with excuses on why he loses, on why people hate him, on why he didn't triumph, why the underdog, at the end of the day, just got buried. He got taken out to the back shed, gave him the old Yeller treatment, and then we put him in the ground. It just happened that while he was in the ground, he's still yelping. Sorry about that. It's a terrible, terrible example. But I think what it does is it speaks more to how Phil really is as an individual and how he looks at himself. Who the hell wants to celebrate a decade of hate? Seriously. You know what I mean? To be honest, he should. I don't know. I wouldn't say that 10 years of him making all these videos is something to be praised, but I would say the fact that he's been doing these videos for this long, despite all of the people who have told him, you need to stop doing this, it's only hurting you, so on and so forth, it's kind of like you have to give him it should be 10 years of perseverance. I'll give him that, to be honest. But anything else, it's kind of a waste of time and it doesn't match up. But what do you guys think? DSP News.
Really badly. Let's try this again. If we hit the subscriber goal for the month of July, alright, which I'm going to announce how many subscribers that is in just a moment. If we hit the subscriber goal, alright, I'm going to be doing a special event where, for a marathon stream, I'm going to be going through playthroughs, videos, and things that you guys nominate, the biggest and most epic things I ever did in the 10 years that I've been a content creator for the internet. And what we're going to do is I'm going to watch them back live on stream, my own videos, and react to them now.
True. Yes, because I'm sure people want to see that.
Minimum effort, minimum money and time involved, maximum profit. Quick buck, quick buck, quick buck. Oh my God!
What the fuck? Whoa! Whoa!
King of hypocrisy. We're all going to be watching it on stream and reacting to it together and be like, holy shit, you know, I said that or I did that.
Actually, to be honest, I would like to see Kat sit down with him and do a marathon like this. I'd like to see I want to see Kat's face when she goes through and sees some of the stuff he did. Not the racist stuff, because, you know, Phil's smart enough not to go over that. Let's be honest. You know what I mean? Trying to explain that to Kat is like a deer in the headlights. It's just not worth it. It really isn't. Either you hit the deer straight on or you swerve. And to my particular understanding, the rule of thumb is you always clip the deer instead of trying to swerve, because you're just going to end up it'll be a lot worse for yourself. In any case, I think that's what Phil should do. Have Kat Dave and Kat do a live reaction marathon to the best of DSP Gaming 10-year marathon. Or I'll reword it somehow, some other way. But do that. You know what I'm saying? Or 10 years of hate, live reaction, Kat and Dave. Do something like that, and I guarantee you, you'll know. We'll find out exactly what Kat thinks about Phil if he does it that way. If you'll see her honest reaction, because you can't prep somebody for something like that. Even if he was like, well, here, watch a couple of them first, so you guys so you have an idea of what we're doing before we actually do it, then you'll know. It's like watching a movie, right? And then you go with a friend of yours, or you go with a couple of friends, and you rewatch that movie, even though your friends haven't seen it yet. You can't necessarily fake the same excitement that you had when you saw it the first time. You can't do it the second time. So you'll be able to see through that, and most people can pick that up. That's what Phil should do. That would be cool. But I don't think he could get her to sit down and go through all that, because she has a job. You know what I'm saying? She's actually doing something with her life. So yeah, that might not work out. And if that's the case, he might have to wait until the weekend that she decides to come home for the month to go ahead and make that happen. I'm not sure if he wants to spend the only weekend a month that he has with her doing live reactions to his old videos. Oh man.
10 years ago, it's going to be pretty fun. 485 subs. So here we go.
I'm actually setting that up on stream live with you guys right now. So if we hit 485 subscribers at any time during the month of July, the DSP's 10 years of... Here we go. We're going to call it 10 years of rage. Do you want to play the fucking game? That's what we're going to call it. DSP's 10 years of rage anniversary event will happen.
Yet again, is that really what you want is that your legacy, Phil? I mean, you're going around saying that, you're the most prolific YouTuber. But is that really what you want to be known for? It goes back to someone who just passed, RIP to Total Biscuit, where do you really want to be the court jester of YouTube? You're just a Muppet, in Dave's own words. 10 years of rage? Is that really all you have? And then he keeps gripping onto this rage situation. Like that's what's going to bring people in. No one goes to Dave to see the rage. You can go to the detractors for that. It'll look a lot better, and it's much more concise. You don't go to Phil for that. What people go to you for, Phil? I'm just going to interchange Dave and Phil. People go to you to hear you run your mouth about shit that you shouldn't run your mouth about, and to hear you lash out at other people. So if that's the case, this Rageathon shouldn't be playthroughs. It shouldn't be any of that dumb shit. Go ahead and go over your Axe the Kings. Go over your hate lives. Go over that stuff. Don't go over playthroughs. No one cares about that. I understand that you want to hold on to this whole, I'm a gamer. But in truth, the gold, the real veins that will bring in viewership for you, Dave, is if you go over those more personal videos that you do. Those old Axe the Kings. Those old, maybe not the Q&As, but those old Axe the Kings, those hate lives, you know what I'm saying? Go over those videos. So for anybody in his fan base, ask for him to do that. And I'm anxious to hear his reason why he won't do it. DSP News.
If we hit 485 subs during this month. Now, there's a Tier 2 event, my friends. Tier 2 event. Alright, you guys ready for this? Hope you guys are ready. The Tier 2 event, if we so hit it, is that if we hit this Tier 2 subscriber goal, I will be doing another Patron's Choice playthrough. Okay?
That stuff is boring. The Tier 2 goal is going to be a stretch, alright, just to warn everyone. 525 subscribers. What? What?
Are you really serious, though? Like, you really think you're going to hit... The only way he hits that goal... excuse me. The only way he breaks that goal is, or if he meets that goal, I should say, is gifted subs, for sure. And then you're just inflating your own fan base yet again, which he now sees that it's just a deficit to him. It's a short-term gain, and he needs to stop. He needs to stop. And when he sets these large goals like this, or even these stretch goals, if you will, that's all you're doing. All you're doing is making Swaggins and Golden Colt and whoever else are the pay piggies over there, just go ahead and try to inflate the sub numbers. And that's if they even feel it's worthwhile. Because isn't Swaggins closing in on another one of DSP's support the stream goals? He's about to go ahead and grab himself another one, or he's closing in on it. So to Swaggins, what's more important? Going ahead and giving maybe 60 or 70 more gifted subs, or try to take down another one of Brightside Vikings records. You know what I'm saying? And just my thoughts. Just my thoughts.
All right, now, ladies and gentlemen, real talk with you. A little bit of real talk here before we get into the rest of the pre-stream. Friday, I really enjoyed myself. Splashed, and then it got on my hand. So now my hand's like sticky.
I did this event called the Street Fighter Master Run Challenge. I had a ton of fun, and I loved playing these games, these fighting games from my youth. You know, these are games that I played when I was...
That Master Run was horrible. I'm sorry. That Master Run was horrible. I mean, it was definitely cool getting to watch Tevin stream and kind of getting to throw some stuff out with some of the other people that were on there. But the stream itself, not the stream, but Dave's aspect of the stream was horrible. Like, it was boring. It was uninspiring. He had to use cheap tactics at the end. He was throwing out excuses that you would expect if he was playing online. Matter of fact, there were people in his chat telling him, "Hey Dave," or well, sorry, "Hey Phil, this isn't online play, man. You can't use that." And that's exactly what he was doing. The same excuses that he uses online, he tried to use against the computer. Oh, the computer is it's macroing my commands and whatnot, so it knows what I'm doing. It's not fair, dude. It's not fair, dude. Who says that when you're playing a fighting game? Like, who does that? Like, who reduces themselves to such who cuts themselves short like that? Well, Dave does. But why? Is that how petty, like, we've become when it comes to this? He wasted his time doing it. He really did. He was better off just turning it into an online event, to be honest with you, with the 4 games. Actually, it's not even 4, it's 5. Because you have Ultimate Street Fighter 4, and which he hasn't even played. I don't even know if he's downloaded it yet. But why hasn't he played that yet? Get him online with that nonsense and see what happens. Oh, he don't want to do that because he knows there's dudes out there. There's a bunch of people playing it, and he doesn't want to run into someone who's going to embarrass him. Okay. But he used to enjoy Street Fighter 4. Go back and watch some of Almighty Tevin's old videos on that. Praise be Almighty. Go back and check out some of Almighty Tevin's old videos. He enjoyed it for the most part, despite the rather severe ass whoopings that he took. Just saying.
In the arcades, to the point, like I told you, I liked it so much, I went back over the next 2 nights and rewatched the whole event on YouTube myself, because I wanted to re-experience these games again. I had a ton of fun, and people who were on the streams were pretty supportive, but on YouTube, barely got any attention.
Views, views, views. I don't want to be Mr. Views. Wah, I'm not making ad revenue. Wah.
And I'm to the point where I'm at my wit's end, my friends. I really am. Like, I want to have the freedom to play whatever I want and have fun with it. And if I want to play something from my past to reminisce for a 10-year anniversary...
Alright, real quick. So, he went back to watch his own marathon. And he went back on YouTube to do it. Why would he do that? When couldn't he have watched that whole marathon on Twitch? In its entirety? Okay, I'm just throwing that out there. Just wondering. So, the next thing. As it pertains to YouTube and the viewership and so on and so forth. And more importantly, that King of Hate HD situation, right? You know how he said that he didn't accept the TOS, but he swore he did. He swore he did accept it, but for some reason it didn't go through, or whatever the cover story is. Here's the thing. As it pertains to that TOS, when he logs into the channel, wouldn't he have to accept it? Don't be wrong, I know they've sent him emails to notify him about that, but he would have to physically log in, and if he did, I'm sure there would be a prompt or something for him saying, hey, please accept the TOS so you can move forward, right? Or something along those lines. Or he would be sent the link through Gmail or whatever he's associated with. He could have just done that and just go through the link in the email, and then bam. It would have taken less than 5 minutes. So why didn't he do it? Oh, because Phil doesn't profit from it. And that's why he didn't accept the TOS. Or he just didn't care. He just disregarded it. Because Phil doesn't actually read his emails. He just skims them. You've seen that on stream plenty of times. So I used to think, or I was thinking for a minute there, that he was planning on letting the channel die out and then going ahead and just re-uploading everything else. But then why would he go through the trouble? So that's my thought. So when he said that, oh, I know people were telling me about it, and I know I needed to do it, and I swore I did. But when some of the same people in his fan base were like, hey, in Brazil or wherever they're at, outside of the United States, I can't watch any of your videos, he was like, oh, well, so what? I don't care. I can't do nothing about it. And more importantly, he wasn't getting paid off that channel. So he had no incentive to do it anyway. Just saying.
I want to be able to do it. If I want to pull a game out of a hat because it's a game that I've always wanted to play, I want to be able to do it. I don't want to be confined to, well, this isn't a hot new AAA release, therefore if you play it, the streams will do well, but YouTube will plummet and no one will watch it and everything will fall apart on DSP Gaming because you played an old game.
I'm tired of that shit. I really am. I'm fucking tired of it. I'm to the point where I just want, give me your money. No, that's not how life works. It's greed. It's greed. Greed is massively strong. I have no fucking self-control. That's your fault.
Now, is it just me, or are any of you reminiscing back to when he was streaming on Twitch the first time, and he had that low stream views, and he said that that the reason why the stream barely made 400 that particular day or whatever the case was is because people were lazy. It sounds like that's what he's about to go with here as it pertains to YouTube, which is ironic in a lot of ways because in turn he's kind of come full circle. But yet again, Phil, you're the one who pushed the fan base from YouTube to Twitch. That was on you. You're the one who said, I'm going to become a full-time Twitch streamer and YouTube is just my archive. So your participation, your attendance, your support is much more is valued more on Twitch instead of YouTube. You did that, as Snort Burnell's doing right now. That's your fault. So why are you surprised by this? Why are you upset by it? You perpetuated all this. It's your own fault. And at the end of the day, what incentive do they really have to go to DSP Gaming? You can't comment on the video. Hell, some of the videos don't even have the likes and dislikes enabled. So what's the point? So it's either go over here and literally watch what is a dead video. Sorry, it's DOA. Or you go to the chat and risk getting banned. You see how you're screwing yourself over, Dave? And you won't learn. You just won't. You refuse to. And you wonder why everything is the way it is now. So now that DSP Gaming was exposed a little while ago, which allowed you to iterate how important it is, now all of a sudden you don't even have any viewership over there anymore. Some people to this very day believe that the channel's still down. It's hilarious. It's a small group of people. But, excuse me, they believe that the channel's still down. You did it to yourself. And see, this is what I was trying to say, Dave, and this is what plenty of people have tried to tell you. When you can't see downrange, when you don't plan in the long term, it's stuff like this that happens. And that's why jerks like me have to report on it. DSP News.
You're the one who created that economic situation. You created the monster. You unleashed the monster. And now your complaint is, well, the monster's too powerful to control. Well, fuck you. That's your fault.
Nothing I can do, dude.
You created that business model. You created a flawed business model, and now you're saying it's not.
Indeed.
There's nothing you can do about it. No,
Nope.
It's your business to enjoy myself and have fun with you guys every day. I want this stream right now that I'm doing to be my priority and to be my main focus. I don't want to always have in the back of my head this nagging feeling that people won't watch something on YouTube, and then my ad revenue plummets, and now I can't pay my bills, and I have a tight month because of this bullshit. All right.
But that being said, in order to do that, all right, I need to increase my viewership on Twitch, and I need to grow my Twitch channel. This channel needs to grow pretty significantly in order for it to support me primarily as my, as the main source of income. Because right now, YouTube still is something that I lean on for income. It still is. I still need it.
Now, here's the thing about that, as it pertains to where Twitch needs to be, so he can literally discard YouTube, which will never do it. Even if another video sharing website comes about, he'll never give up YouTube. As long as he can make anything, he'll always hold on to YouTube. At the end of the day, he's been there too long. He doesn't know how to give it up. He talks a good game, not really. He thinks he talks a good game, but he can't give it up at all. As it pertains to Twitch, to be honest, for him to really be able to support himself, make his 100,000 a year, if you will, even though he makes more than that, more or less, he would need, to be honest, and this is just broad strokes, you should definitely ask Almighty Tevin to give you some better numbers, but if I had to guess, he needs 2,000 subs every month. So he needs to have concurrently 2,000 subs plus, and his viewership needs to be somewhere between 7 and 10,000 a stream. And if that's the case, then he needs to cut that evening stream, because as Almighty Tevin and as others have said too, it's useless. His second stream doesn't bring anybody in. It's very uninspiring, and he's tired. He's tired by the time he does that stream and whatnot. It's a waste of time. Also, he can have it so he can say that he works a 12-hour day. Get up, come on. Let's move on from that, Dave. Let's be honest. He needs to cut that second stream altogether. He should have a straight 6-hour stream and then go from there. Once a day, period. If he wants to turn the last part of it into a post stream, like a post pre-stream or post stream, I should say, he could do that for the last hour and just take questions and get bits like that, which actually wouldn't be a bad idea. But he should do that. What he's doing currently is not going to work. But anyway, that's just my opinion. He needs 2,000 plus subscribers each month, and he probably needs between 7 and 10,000 people watching him on the regular. And then at least, I'd say at least a quarter of those people need to be donating. Just saying. And that's a very large number. That's a very large number. And Phil just doesn't have that charisma, and more importantly, the brainwashing is wearing off. He can't garner people to his side like that anymore. It's just not going to work. Just my opinion, though.
I took in your suggestions over the last 2 days on Twitter. Some of them were ridiculous. Oh, well, focus more on the stream chat. Then I read back, oh, focus more on the game. So obviously, you got to take everything that you get on Twitter with a grain of salt. But the number one complaint was that the pre-streams are too long. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't see how that affects anything, because I still put out 4+ hours of gameplay on every stream, as I promise. Yet some people just can't get over the fact that I do pre-streams and they're very informative and people love to interact with me during them.
Okay, let's cut in. So, back to our buddy, James Lesser Expressly. He did a video also where they touched on that. It was on a Hate Live where Phil said, this is, I guess, when he just moved to Washington. And he had said that no more long-ass pre-streams. 15 minutes and we on. Lights, camera, action, we on. 15 minutes. If you got no more talking about his personal life. Just a few plugs and then on to what you guys came here to, to the gameplay. Period. If you guys want to hear about his personal life, Ask the King or Hate Live. Period. And now look at him. Now keep in mind, if you guys have been following the pre-stream trend as of late, he's somewhere between 40 minutes to an hour. So he's trying to bring it down. He can't bring himself to that half hour, though. He just can't do it. And I know why. Well, we all know why. Dave is lonely, to be honest with you. And talking about himself makes him feel better. It's a way to, and it's a way to fill time, to be honest. And not necessarily stalling, but I can understand why one would consider it that. But it's really, it's a way for him to fill time. And more importantly, it's a way for him to get his feelings out there to a group of people who he believes that cares. That's it. It's like his own therapy chair in a lot of ways. He can vent. He can praise himself. He can talk about what he feels he wants to talk about as it pertains to news or politics, very rarely, and things of that sort, and not get any immediate blowback. Actually, he doesn't get any, really, because you can't comment under any of his pre-streams. And it's that 1 hour that he can indulge himself. Trust me, if he could get way more donations and support, if you will, on his pre-streams would be 2 hours. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. So that's what the pre-streams are. He can't give it up. He can't do it at all. If not, then he would just do it through the gameplay. Not to say that he doesn't already do it. And he doesn't want it, and he knows it. I guarantee you, deep down, Dave, you know it. You know what I'm saying is true. If you don't vent, if you don't basically self-stroke yourself through your pre-stream, you'll just do it through the gameplay, which is only going to make it worse, which translates back to YouTube and your low viewership. You keep saying that, oh, it's not my fault that the YouTube videos are doing badly. It's because there's all these distractions on stream, and that translates to the YouTube videos. But aren't you yourself the person who put up a 10 or 15 minute video of you going through some of your technical issues? That shouldn't have even been a video. If you have that live on stream, hey, it is what it is. But that shouldn't have been a video. And you do that a lot. You have a lot of this dead air, these dead air videos, if you will, on YouTube that are nothing. They're nothing at all. So why is it a video? Why did you even waste your time hitting OBS? Also, update your OBS and your drivers on that laptop, Dave. Your people in your chat have been telling you that, but you really should. It'll work a lot better. Just saying. So that's why Phil won't give up the pre-streams, and he says it doesn't hurt him, but it's because, or it doesn't hurt the stream or the videos or whatever the case may be. What he means is it doesn't hurt him. It's therapeutic. But that's just my opinion, of course. DSP News?
Oh. What I'm going to try to do is abridge pre-streams.
Oh my god!
So I've already talked for 15 minutes. Normally I would do plugs, and I would do a shout-out segment. I'm now going to do the shortest plugs segment humanly possible, so that we can get right into the shout-outs, and we can start with gameplay. Alright? So.
Shoutouts! There may be tons of people who have found success on Twitch that every second that someone subscribes, they play an audio cue or they stop what they're doing and they shout out the name. Oh, you sent me a PayPal donation, so-and-so, Joe Blow Splamoni. Thanks so much for the $100 you sent me. By the way, I'll never mention you again because I only do it to take your fucking money.
And someone needs to send Phil that video where he talked about all the faults of being on Twitch and all the things that streamers had to do back then to garner attention and to grow and so on and so forth. Someone needs to send him that video so he can react to. And I want to hear what his excuse is, which I would guess it'll be, oh, well, times change and you have to change with it. This is what I have to do for my business. But you bashed all those people for that. And how is it that that's always the situation with you, Dave? Oh, it's bullshit. It's unauthentic. They're all shills. None of them are real gamers when they're doing it. But when you do it, it's all part of the business. Or this is just the progression of the business, of how all this works. And you guys wouldn't understand because you guys won't do what I do. But you weren't doing what those guys were doing at the time, and you still bashed it. Hello, Kettle. Meet Black. Black already knows Panda, so you don't have to worry about that. They've already been introduced. Wank, wank.
I hate to say it, but people who probably do that don't care about the level of their content. They only care about the money you send them. Again, you need to think about what you do, who you watch.
Toxic Toilet Juice. Cheer 25 bits.
Thank you. Really, thank you.
I said, I know you started a playthrough of Knights of the Old Republic a long time ago. I don't expect you to continue from where you left off, but will you ever start a new playthrough of it? Yes. I really do feel that eventually people will want to see that. The only reason I stopped playing it years ago is because it just wouldn't even run on my PC anymore.
Toxic Toilet Juice Charity said, wouldn't it be better to do the anniversary event anyway, regardless of subs, to show appreciation for people who've been watching for the past 10 years? No. I need that money. I really do. I need that money to pay my bills. I mean, yeah, absolutely it would. And then, then when I go out of business and I can't do this anymore full time because I couldn't motivate people to subscribe to the channel, and I couldn't motivate people to pledge to Patreon, and I couldn't motivate people to contribute, then people will say, oh, that poor Phil, the sad sob story of the guy who couldn't make it work. The bottom line is, these are great events because they motivate people. We need more money. We need more money. That's what this stream is about. By the way, hint, hint. Save the pig. What the heck? A pig with a party hat. Hello, Mr. Piggy. The secret piggy. Save the pig, the game. The whole game you're trying to save the pig's life. Help!
That's funny because that's kind of what his fan base does. They've just been playing it a lot longer than the rest of us. Okay, so as it pertains to the motivation aspect of supporting the stream, it goes back to something that I've already said, and James the Lesser pointed out recently, where the scheme now is, if you guys, I'm going to flood the stream full of ads. And so, to do so, if you guys want to avoid it, excuse me, if you guys want to avoid it, you guys need to go ahead and just sub to the channel. Period. If you guys want to avoid these ads, you're going to have to sub to the channel. Because YouTube is terrible right now, and I'm trying to break those shackles, even though I still want the views, though. So, instead of all that, you guys are just going to come over here to my streams, and I'm going to flood them full of ads. But the ads don't really do much for me, so you're going to sub so you can avoid those ads. While on YouTube, I don't know if he's done it yet. I'm not sure if he's going to do it. I know he runs ads. He might just go ahead and start running more ads on his YouTube videos. Now, as it pertains to 10 to 12 minute videos, which is right around Phil's time range, most people somehow fit 4 or 5 ads in a 10-minute video, which is, I guess 4 videos. I mean, 4 ad rolls in a 10-minute video is what? Every 2.5 minutes, basically. So I guess fitting 5 is just egregious, I suppose. But if you can get away with it, you can get away with it. Is that what the new hustle is going to be, Phil? You're going to go ahead and force these people to sub to your Twitch channel, and then flood YouTube full of ads for the people who do go over there and support you. It's going to only end badly for you, Phil. Hence the current revolt that you have going on right now. I don't know how bad, well, I have an idea of how bad your financial situation is. But you're slowly but surely about to kill off the people who have helped you in the worst way. And the thing is, Phil, if I had to guess, is you're building up for another one of those holiday streams to build sympathy, and then this Christmas, I would say Thanksgiving and Christmas for sure, is where you're hoping to get the big money like last year. And we'll just see. I don't want to throw anything out there just yet. But this is me thinking downrange on what you're trying to plan for later on. And it doesn't look good. Last year, spur of the moment. No one was expecting it. And it worked out for you. I don't think it's going to work for you this year. I really don't. I think you've alienated too many people, to be honest. Too much of that tax story came across as very inconcisive and even inconclusive in a lot of ways. You got too greedy, and it came back on you. But we'll see. Maybe the devil's luck is still with you, and I'm just selling you short. We'll find out.
You know, and listen, of all the stuff that I do a lot of stuff now for free that others don't. What?
You do a lot of stuff for free that others don't. What? If you're talking about if you were talking about like your DSP tries-its and all that stuff, I mean, that was you. That was you doing these little situations, these little side projects because they made you money and whatnot. And a lot of those DSP tries-its you did with other people, which leads to why KO Gaming might have fallen or failed, as well as some of the other things, these side projects that Phil's slowly trying to kill off. He's used to having somebody else there with him. He's used to having that security blanket in somebody else's presence. You know what I mean? And somebody giving him feedback and him then implementing it later on down the line. He might not go ahead and accept it right then and there, but he'll do it later on down the line. He does that with his chat all the time. He does that with the detractor community a lot. Oh, I'm not going to do that. That's way out of my league. And then like 3 weeks later, he starts to try to do it. Whatever he tries to do independently, it doesn't get the praise that he wants it to. So he abandons it. Because if he continues to move forward with it and it fails, he doesn't want to be the one to take the blame for it. Like DSP tries-its, for example. On YouTube, they don't catch a lot of views. They just don't. And so he drops it. And now the scheme, which I had said that the scheme then was, if you want him to do a DSP tries-it, you guys are going to pay for it. And that's what's going to happen. But see, why did it have to come down to that? I remember when people were asking him to do movie reviews. They were going to... You had people who were like, Phil, we will pay for your movie tickets. Other people said, oh, I'll even throw in an extra $30 so you can get popcorn, soda. So he's comfortable, basically. So you can go and watch a movie and then come back that night and do a review of it. You know, a half-hour review of this particular movie. Other people were willing to pay him to go to the movies, to be comfortable, watch a movie, come home, and tell us what he thinks. And he said, no, I can't do it. I don't have any time. Think about that for a minute. And then people were, at one time or another, were, I wouldn't say desperate, but try to make it worth his while so much that they were like, well, hey, could you consider making that as a stretch goal in some way, shape, or form? Or could we donate some extra money so you would do it? And he still turned it down. So all these poorly cooking with the king, or cooking with the king, or whatever it was originally called, people were willing to throw money at him for that too. But he didn't want to do it unless he had Cat there and turn it into an ongoing series. He's so scared of failing on his own, on stepping out of that bubble and showing a little bit of creativity if he has it, because, you know, everybody else doesn't have any creativity. That's why they just steal his content. Okay, but he won't show any of his own creativity unless there's somebody else there to take the fall. Unless there's somebody there to add to the situation. That's why he misses John and Howard so much. That's why you get these generic, boring videos on this generic, boring stream. That's why he's so reliant on the stream for it to be entertaining. Or on the stream chat, I should say, I'm sorry. To make the stream entertaining, because he's too scared to do it on his own. Yeah, he's sitting there, he's playing a game, but what entertainment value is he really providing you? When he was doing DSP tries-its by himself, he knew that those things weren't very good. At least with Panda, he had someone to bounce off of. But then again, when Panda was there, he was damn near disregarding half of the stuff that she said. He's too scared to do anything creative on his own. He just can't do it anymore. And that's why he needs someone else. That's why he needs Kat so desperately. And he can go back and be like, hey, Kat, look at all the money we made, and look at how this Q&A worked. You know, this right here is a reason why we could do this cooking show. You know, we can do it. You know you want to go ahead and make these new recipes, and all I'm doing is filming it and putting it on YouTube. And at first, he might actually help her do it, and the camera will fluctuate between the two of them. And then eventually, it's just going to be Kat there doing all the cooking. It's going to be just like what it was with Panda, when she did the cooking aspect, and then they sat down and ate. Even though I don't think we saw the preparation that went into it. Eventually, that's what's going to turn into. Isn't that right, Phil? But that's just my thoughts, though. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. DsPgaming?
What? 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 What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck?
That's funny.
What the fuck? Are you fucking serious? Fuck that, Phil. You are a dirty, rotten liar.
The show, Ask the King, itself is a show where I, for free, answer people's questions. Guess what? Some people have a Patreon goal set up just for that. Most of the stuff that I've done over the years was stuff that I did for free, where I never motivated anyone to pledge anything or contribute to anything. You know what I mean? I do daily streams, lots of daily streaming.
But people did, though. Yes, you may have not have asked for direct donations, but in a lot of those cases, you were paid, and you certainly were paid for it on YouTube. So then it wasn't actually free, then, was it? It wasn't free content. Anything that Phil has done was not free. He was paid for it in some way, shape, or form. If anybody out there wants to pose the argument about, oh, well, what about Nintendo? He doesn't get paid for that on YouTube. He got paid for that on Twitch, though. He got paid on it through ads, through donations, through bits, and through cheers. And subs, if he actually received any. Just saying.
Yep. What I'm doing is I'm trying to find a way to motivate people to contribute who normally wouldn't. Alright, or maybe who want to see a very fun special event that's desirable happen without having to completely change up my formula of what I do on a daily basis. And that's very tough. Because, oh, Phil should just do this. That's great, but if I do that, then
I'm sure that is tough that, oh, give me money, but I don't want to have to change. What are you doing? What are you doing? You can't stay stationary or stagnant and yet expect other people to propel your business forward. You have to take that step yourself. The business doesn't wait on nobody. Time doesn't wait on anybody. Life doesn't wait on anybody. You have to move with it. Even the super rich have to get up out of bed. Or, well, like I've always said, fuck being rich. I'd rather be wealthy. But even the wealthiest man in the world has to get up out of bed. That's how life works. That's how it moves forward. And yet again, this is kind of on his fan base's fault too. You allow this man to be this way. So now, you guys want him to change and you can't. But then, that leads to the next theory that, well, most of the people that were part of his old fan base are gone now or are detractors themselves. So now you have the next crop that kind of came in, and now they're dealing with the shit. In a lot of ways, that's true. In a lot of ways. And it's not their fault, so that's why he gets all this pushback. Because, like I said, the previous generation or generations, or just groups of people, they've all cycled themselves out. And now you got this new generation that's trying to kind of, this new crop of people, I should say, that are coming in and are trying to push change on him, and he can't, and he won't do it. He won't do it. And then he wonders why he's falling apart. At the seams, almost. What are you gonna do?
It happens to my daily streams. They go, you know what I mean? The time has to come from somewhere. So by doing something like this, it allows me to motivate people to contribute and also get something very fun and positive out of it without taking away from other stuff that I do. Okay? It's that simple.
It's why don't you just do everything for free always? Why don't, Phil, if you really loved your fans, why don't you just remove all advertisements from all your YouTube videos? And why don't you never do any plugs and never do shout outs for cheer subs and tips and turn all that off? Just stream for free completely forever, and that way you lose everything you have and go away forever. Okay, how about no? How about instead I act like a logical adult And I try to do things...
Well, first things first, who said anything about loving any of you guys? Secondly, it was only just recently that he would say, hello, welcome my friends. He used to never say that. He used to say, well, he's kind of jumped around with what he said. But that my friends thing just started recently. I don't know what kind of attempt he's making with that, but it's not legitimate in any particular case. He doesn't care about any of you. It's just how it goes. And to expect anything else, or to expect anything different, is preposterous. You're wasting your own time. Like I've said, and for any of these people who were around to see it, the day he cut Brightside Viking down to save his own ass, which, come to find out, if you think about it now, he didn't even need to. But for him to cut Brightside Viking down proves how much value people have to him. Because I gotta tell you, if there was two people in his life that should have meant something to him, outside of his family, I should say, it would be probably John and then Brightside Viking. And either he is too stubborn or too scared to call John and say that he's sorry. And for Brightside, it is what it was. I think he just assumed. I think it was just. I mean, he had. Brightside Viking had swung the battle axe for him so many times. And I guess in Phil's state of mind, at least at that time, well, he can go ahead and fall on that axe for me. That's what it seems like. Because I didn't see, especially looking at it now, I didn't see a need for him to cast him aside like that. And for someone like him, like Dave, he's been with you through thick and thin for a number of years, man. A number of years. He's gone on podcasts to defend you. He's done a lot. A lot more than Swaggins will probably ever do. It's not even about money. This man frontlined for you. And I'll give Brightside Viking that much. He was loyal. He was loyal to a goddamn fault. And I respect that. Don't get me wrong, I don't condone anything that he did, but I do respect his loyalty. I respect that. And for you to just drop him like that was, well, that's what you do, isn't it, Dave?
That makes sense, so I can keep doing this for a living. That's the bottom line, is trying to maintain a way to keep doing the fun stuff. You know what I mean? Doing this fun stuff, doing these daily streams and everything is motivated by the fact that I can pay my bills. If I can't pay my bills, I can't do them. It's not about the money. It's not. I'm not here to take a paycheck. I'm not morbidly obese. Very, very, very hypocritical. Pretty hypocritical, I agree. So it's just logic. But again, I don't think this is considered. The guy's name is Toxic Toilet Juice. I'm pretty sure he wasn't seriously asking that question anyway, and he certainly didn't expect a serious answer either. So there you go.
Shout out to Third Eye the Third, who cheered 50 bits. He says, I don't know why you bother with the pre-stream at all. Everyone on Twitch knows how to tip and cheer. They know popular streamers are inclined to have merch. I follow 64 streamers, and you're the only one that has a pre-stream. Waste of time and annoying to anyone who has to hear it daily. Well, Third Eye the Third, it's probably because I guarantee you, out of the streamers that you watch, more than likely, I'm one of the smallest. Alright, I'm not big time. It's not like I turn on the stream and immediately people are going nuts in the stream chat with contributions. I need to have this segment. It's that simple. Plus, as you guys know, when I play games, a lot of the times, especially if it's a narrative-based game or a new game that I'm playing for the first time, I'm focused on the game. And yes, there's interaction with you guys, but I'm not going to sit here and have a casual conversation about stuff like, oh, here's my schedule coming up and everything during a gameplay video that, number one, is going to be on YouTube and no one will care. And number two, I need to focus on the game. You probably watch a lot of gameplay streamers where the main focus of their stream is, number one, interacting.
Wait. Your pre-stream, though, is on YouTube. What? Like, you're... What? Like, no. Like, you put your pre-streams on YouTube and no one cares. Well, that's not true, no one cares. That's what a lot of people pull their shit from. But, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how could you say that? Which also leads to another theory that I've been wondering about, is why that second pre-stream, which he does have a second one, it's short, but why doesn't he ever post that one? He always just lets that one go. You know what I mean? I always wondered why he never posted. He might as well, to be honest. And he talks about his personal life and his business and everything through his gameplays anyway. Most of them. Most of them. So, what's the difference? You're not holding anybody back. Well, except for yourself. And dude is right. People know how to contribute to you. If people want the shirts, they know where to go to get it. You have all of that at the bottom in the information box of his streams. You see it all over his YouTube channel. People know, if you've been around Twitch any any amount of time, you know how to give him bits and donations and subs. It's not that informative. It really isn't. All the information's at the bottom of the page. Like I said, I've already told you why he does all that. But yet again, he's still trying to fight against the logic. And his reasoning just doesn't add up. Or doesn't hold up even. What are you gonna do?
That's not with me. For me, it's equal parts interaction and gameplay. Yeah, I'm a gamer! Do you want to play the fucking game? Which is a lot different. You know, I'm not someone who just streams Fortnite every fucking day. I'm a variety streamer who's playing so many different games at one time. I can't 100% be focused on the stream chat at all times. In fact, people have told me they get frustrated when I'm playing a game and I miss something in the game because I'm looking at stream chat or interacting with stream chat. So it's a balance, alright? That's fine. You like 63 other streamers who don't do pre-streams, you're very welcome to go fucking watch them.
Oh my god. Oh, you're gonna get salt.
You need to learn how to talk to people, Dave. You need to learn how, and that's one of the biggest things that hurts him, is he doesn't handle pushback well. He really doesn't. And that's why, you know what I'm saying, that's why the comments are gone off the YouTube pages. Except for Axe the King, but most of those comments come up missing mysteriously too. You go over there and you see 34 comments, or you see it says 34 comments, and you only see 8, all kissing his ass. What are you gonna do? But he doesn't know how to talk to people. He doesn't know how to do it. And oh, excuse me. About to cough.
Even now, I'm getting my mouth overpowered with salt flavor.
If really having a segment before the actual uninterrupted gameplay begins is so annoying to you, and you're so impatient that you can't put up with this segment, then feel free to just go watch them. I'm not going to stop you, you know? But I think it's kind of ridiculous that people will not give me any opportunity to talk with you guys without the hindrance of gameplay interfering, or to give plugs on my own stream, when every other fucking streamer does it. You're full of crap, by the way. A lot of streamers have these segments and constantly advertise and do these things in between everything. So, no, you're not being very too truthful here when you say, I watch 63 other streamers, none of them advertise like you.
But how do you know that, Phil, when you don't watch other streamers? And I'm just going off what you say. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't watch other streamers, so how do you know that? And I'm sorry, even off the streamers that I don't watch 64 other streamers, though. But none of them have... this is what the people that I watch for the most part, this is how their pre-streams go. It comes on about maybe 10 or 15 minutes before they actually start streaming. There's usually music. They have like a little B-roll type thing that kind of goes through like some advertisements or just some kind of funny pictures or whatever, like that they have from either their Instagram or whatever the case may be. Stream comes on. Hey guys, how you doing? We're going to go ahead and get into some of these games here. And I will interact with you guys as we go on, and you know, let's have a good time. Bam, lights, camera, action, and we on. That's it, Phil. Like I said, the pre-stream, so to speak, is usually only 10 or 15 minutes, maybe 20, and there's usually music or there's something playing on in the background, and that's it. No, not people who need to constantly throw at you all their life problems. Most of them of their own doing. Just saying. Just saying.
It's complete nonsense. And Zacho cheered again and said, new webcam, green screen, these things can change things up. Well, as for a new webcam, I'm not going to buy any kind of equipment until someone recommends something that's good. And people are like, oh, this webcam is bad. Well, this webcam I've used for a while. When I did buy this webcam, I bought 3 separate webcams at the same time that everyone at the time told me were the top of the line. And guess what? This webcam was the best. Now, here we are years later, people are telling me this webcam is outdated. Well, recommend a better one. If someone could recommend me a great webcam that's plug and play, easy to use, it'll work with OBS, and isn't hundreds and hundreds of dollars, then yeah, eventually maybe I would look to upgrade my equipment, upgrade my webcam for the business. Absolutely. If I can afford it, that's the thing. If it's not oh, a $300 webcam. Well, I can't afford that. I can't afford to buy a new PS4 Pro, when my PS4 audio out screwed up. Then obviously I can't afford a $300 webcam, right? But if there's something that's reasonable, maybe the technology.
The belief behind that, by the way, as it pertains to his audio issues, is they actually think it's his Astros. There might be something wrong with it, or it's the cord, or whatever the case may be. But then let's also be honest. Dave doesn't take care of his stuff. So there you go. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. But excuse me. That's what people actually think is the audio issues. It's from his actual headset itself and not the PS4. But the PS4 is old though. And he keeps throwing it out there that, hey, I really need a PS4 Pro. I need a PS4 Pro. And he might as well just come out and say it. Hey, guys, let's do a stretch goal on Patreon so you guys can, you know, for an extra, what, $300 or whatever the case may be, so I can get a new a PS4 Pro for the business. Hell, he might as well, what was that thing that he pulled a couple years ago where he tried to get a brand new television, a new console, a new camera. There might even have been something for a new PC. Why don't you just go ahead and do that, Phil? And that's all on Patreon. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to get, or at least not that I see anyway, you're not going to get a new PS4 off of Twitch. At least not the way you're going about it.
Has advanced, and now these things are much better, then absolutely I would consider something like that, as long as it's not something that's going to break the bank, okay?
Sadly, I am behind on money right now because I had to pay this giant lump of taxes last month, and now I'm basically, you know, to the bone with money, like paycheck to paycheck, pay bill. I was going paycheck to paycheck. Money would come in, pay the bills. Money would come in again, pay the bills. I'm good at lying.
Green screen's not possible. I've said it about 400 times. There's nowhere to put it in my office. Behind my love seat, there's zero space between the wall and me. And if I tape it to the wall, it will look awful. The way a green screen works is it has to be very smooth and flat. Okay? Alright, so it has to be smooth and flat. And I can't do that behind me. I've got soundproofing foam. There's no space to stand up with a green screen.
That's not true either. Almighty Seven has a video out there where he actually shows you how his is set up and how you can do it. And also there are YouTube videos that show you all kinds of different ways that you can set up a green screen and how versatile it can be. He's just too lazy and whatnot. Now here's my question now, just in case, I'm not sure if anybody knows this, but I'm gonna ask anyway. Couldn't he put his green screen over, like hang it, obviously, we'd have to hang it from like the ceiling or something, over or in front of his soundproofing, and it wouldn't affect the soundproofing, right? I would assume, I'm thinking it won't, but I don't know for sure because I don't have a green screen. So that's just my thoughts, because if it won't hinder that in any way, shape, or form, he could ask Kat to help him hang it up and whatnot. Now, granted, it would probably, and I guess another reason why I'm asking is the green screen would probably be actually up against his soundproofing, but I don't think it would distort it or anything of the sort. He would be fine. But like I said, that's just my theory, of course. So, I don't know, maybe next time I'm on Twitter, I'll ask Almighty Tevin and see what he says.
This office is not a good office for lighting either. Like, I have to perfect the lighting to be straight out. And green screen doesn't add anything. I've said this 100 times, I'll say it again. When I see these streamers with green screen, it doesn't actually improve anything at all. The number one complaint I got is that my webcam looked unprofessional because it just kind of stuck out there. Well, now I have an overlay for it. So that excuse.
So wait a second. So you're telling me a green screen would not provide anything for you, Dave, but you think that little outlining around your little webcam does? Because it pulsates a little bit, or it has a little bit of color and flair to it, opposed to having a green screen where you know what I'm saying, his webcam would be wherever he decides to place it, and then the actual gameplay itself is in the background. And then there are really cool kind of visual effects that you can use through OBS for your green screen. I remember watching Tevin do that once in one of his videos too. Like I said, man, you gotta be willing to try. You have to be willing to try.
That complaint is no longer valid, because now it looks cool. It's got animation and everything that plays around it. So, you know, it is what it is. My style makes only certain things viable. And my style does not allow me to have a green screen behind me. If I were sitting at a PC with...
Then your style is limiting. It's limited, and in turn, it's limiting you. And that's not okay. You should never box yourself in any aspect of your life. And this is your livelihood. So why would you put yourself in a situation where you're boxed in and be okay with it?
A lamp in front of me and I hunched over my PC playing games every day, then that would be perfectly viable. And by the way, that's how the vast majority of people who use a green screen do it. That's not how I can do it, and I can't even do it like that in my office because of my setup. So
Give me your money.
it is what it is, guys. And by the way, again, not a single person over the years has ever told me that there would be any kind of a positive benefit for the green screen, besides the fact that everyone else just does it. Like, that's great that everyone does something. Does that mean that it actually concretely adds a damn thing to the stream? No. Just that everyone jumped on the same bandwagon, and it became a common practice without actually see, oh, okay, this added this or this to the stream. For me, I need to find a way to hook people to come watch my streams.
So I gotta try and find a way to drive people back to subs and everything, right? Let the money roll in. Let the green roll in. I need that money to pay my bills.
And enjoy them by getting over the negativity and the association of just this toxicity with me that I have nothing to do with.
Then why'd you buy the green screen? Why'd you buy all those expensive lights that are out there in the garage? He has like 3 or 4 of them. He has between 2 and 4 of these really nice lights. And then he has that giant green screen. What'd you buy all that for then if you weren't going to do anything with it? Oh, I'm sorry. Isn't that the whole point of you? The whole point of all of that was when you moved to Washington, that you wanted to experiment with the green screen. You wanted to do more with it. You have a whole garage out there that you're not doing anything with, that's probably just clustered with the previous occupant's stuff in it. You could do some filming out there, and you have someone that can hold on to the camera while you do it. So, yet again, where's all the excuses at? And your style isn't a style. It's just something you do because you're comfortable with. And I can speak on that. Like I said, change comes, there's nothing easy with change, but you have to do it. It's the only way you can move forward. Or at least add to it. You don't have to make a complete turnaround. You can do it bit by bit. What are you gonna do?
Come watch my streams daily, you know that I'm not about that at all. But sadly, people are all about that when they come to hate on me. That's what we need to overcome. How you get people to come to the streams and see the real me and the fun that we have here on a daily basis versus, oh, let's do a green screen and a new webcam. That's not going to get anyone new. You know what I mean? You're still going to have the same people say, well, I'm not going to check him out because of the negativity. So, throw out the third shoot again. Because I didn't mean to trigger you. You're not the small streamer I follow. You're in the middle. I genuinely think you benefit from not having a pre-stream. That's 1.5 hours more of gameplay. In what world is that a bad thing? How about the world where I never get to talk to my viewers about anything because I'm only playing games, and the world where I have 0 advertisement so no one cheers, subs, tips, pledges to Patreon, or buys stuff from Teespring? Because that's the world we live in, and that's not the world of a reality. As I said earlier on the stream,
I guess I'm not that smart. Man, I'm stupid.
From the same person who said, why can't you just do everything for free? Because that's not how life works. That's not my hobby, and I have a 9-to-5 office job outside of this that pays the bills. This is my job. And therefore, there has to be some air of professionalism when it comes to it, including advertisement segments and the like. This is, again, I understand. It's free content for you. You watch it. You like it. You don't like a certain portion of it. But it's called a necessary evil, my friend. And in adult reality, this is how life is.
My mouth is full of salt.
Again, I wish I could give everything away for free constantly, and I never had to pay a bill. That's not how my life is. It never will be. Okay?
Third choice, I saw a Muppet video yesterday. I was in tears. I don't know what you're talking about.
That shit was funny as hell. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. It really is. It's so beautiful. Oh my god, it's great. Like the timing with it. Like I said, the link of it will be in the description. If you haven't seen it, please go watch it. If you have seen it, watch it again. Okay? It has so much replay value to it. It's great. Even how his face gestures when he does the snort, like when you see the nose part just kind of sink in a little bit. It's amazing. Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Excuse me, I need a moment.
I'm not even going to address it because he's probably addressing a detractor to try to get my go, and I'm not going to pay attention to it.
I got an anonymous dollar tip. Someone calling me out. Obviously someone who doesn't understand what I say, so I'm going to address it quickly. He says, the new goal is literally what you called out other YouTubers for. You've called them out for doing exactly what you're trying to do. It feels a little hypocritical. Wrong.
Very, very, very hypocritical.
When I call other YouTubers, it's because they do this all the time because they have no creativity and can't do anything for themselves to maintain any kind of a viewing audience. So they just have to jump on these common practices. React videos, watching someone else's content, and reacting to it is the lowest common denominator of content you can put out on YouTube.
Now, first off, you've done reaction videos before, Phil. You've done reaction videos. So who are you to cast stones against anybody when you yourself have done it? Oh, because you didn't get all the, you didn't get the tens of thousands or the hundreds of thousands of views like other channels, and that's why. Maybe because your reaction videos weren't very good. And now look, now you're reduced to, you're so scared to react to someone else's video because you think something's going to happen to you, and it's not. That now you want to react to your own content. Like your fan base, excuse me, like your fan base wants to see that. That makes no sense. Where are you going with this? Yeah.
YouTube. It takes zero effort. You don't actually have to do anything but just do stupid funny faces and make dumb reactionary comments. Okay, it's crap. It really is, and I've always said that's why I won't do, oh, Phil reacts to E3 live. I think it's stupid garbage, and that's my opinion. You maybe like that stuff. That's okay. But for me, I'm going to put out stuff that I feel is quality. Now, in particular, this special event I'm holding is an exception to the rule. It's not something I do all the time to get cheap views or make money.
I know you're lying. Silver-tongued talker, right? Oh, I'm just going to say it one way, and hopefully you'll believe it, even though it's not.
And he gets mad because people call him a hypocrite. And there's a lot of shit that you can call Dave out on that makes him a hypocrite, but because you don't do it all the time. Oh, okay, Phil. So I'm not a bank robber because I don't want to use the I don't want to use the drug dealer stick because James is using that. James the Lesser is using that currently. But okay, so I'm a bank robber. I'm a good one too because I haven't been caught yet. But I'm not a criminal because I don't bank rob all the time. I only do it like 3 or 4 times a month. I don't do it every day like other bank robbers. So there you go. But see, I gotta up my game though a little bit because I'm outspending what I'm bringing in. So I'm gonna go ahead and rob 8 more banks. You know what I'm saying? So I have to bring the current, 4 times a month up to about 12. But I'm only doing that because I'm the exception to the rules. Okay? I'm still not a criminal though. I'm not a criminal. I'm just upping my game a little bit because I'm really in a sore spot right now and I really need the money. That's what it is. That's what the situation is. So, like Richard Nixon said, I'm not a crook.
Truth. And that's literally what's happening here. The guy's a liar. The guy's a fucking blatant liar and lying to everyone. But people are believing it because they don't know any better.
It's because it's my 10th anniversary. I have 10 years as a prolific YouTuber, probably the single most prolific YouTuber there is. Okay? And in 10 years, I've put out over 50,000 videos. Everyone has a favorite video of mine that they like, and to see me come back and watch something that's years and years and years old and react to it is probably going to be pretty entertaining, and it's a lot different than me just stealing someone else's content and reacting to it to make cheap money because I have no talent of my own. Alright? Very different situation, not even an apples-to-apples comparison, plus it's a special thing I'm doing, it's not something I'm going to be doing all the time, so your criticism is invalid.
What? That's right. This is the United States of Phil. I am the supreme being. I make the rules, and what I say goes. This is not a place for you to stand on your soapbox and complain about censorship and freedom of speech, because the bottom line is you don't have freedom of speech. This is my land.
And the Captain of Salt cheered and said, Phil, everyone on Twitter recommended a shorter pre-stream. Any plans of doing that? Well, the pre-stream was over, under 40 minutes, and then a bunch more people contributed. The thing is, you guys think this is pre-stream. It's not. This is the stream. And I'm going to say that now. When I'm reacting to things you guys are saying, it's the stream. This is not pre-stream. This is the stream, what I'm doing right now.
If it's the stream, then why isn't there any gameplay? you can't say that. You know what I'm saying? You can't say silly shit like that. If this is the stream, then where's the gameplay? There's no gameplay, right? You're still sitting on the couch. You still have the typical roles going on. You said those are questions, and you're just reacting to those questions. So then it's still part of the pre-stream. Jesus, Phil. And the thing is, he fights this so hard because it's not that he believes he's right. He just wants to be right. And he wants it more than anything.
Because people are asking questions and I'm answering. That's called an interactive stream. And yes, there will be gameplay on it, but this is the stream. So it's time to stop complaining and it's time to start enjoying. Rather than sitting here just whining and complaining about the pre-stream's too long, you realize I'm reacting to people, which is what people want on an interactive stream, right? So how about we stop this nonsense and we just enjoy ourselves? Because, you know, it's one thing if you have legitimate criticism. Okay, hour-long pre-stream is too long. I agree. But now nitpicking, oh, every single moment you're not playing gameplay is pre-stream. Enough. I'm not going to put up with that crap. Okay, I'm not. I'm reacting to what you guys are saying. That's an interactive stream. That's what people want. Everyone wants that. Then I do it. Then you complain. Well, too bad. Third out of the third cheer said, am I making the pre-stream longer? No, because pre-stream's over. Pre-stream is over. This is the stream now. There you go.
I went to a comic book store one day with my parents, and the Wolverine figure was there. And I turned to my mother and father, and I said, guys, listen. I want that action figure for my birthday. So, please, what I would ask you, I've never asked you to do this before. We know how rare that figure is. We know we've been to stores endlessly and we've never seen it in the flesh. It's finally here in front of our faces. Please buy the figure now.
The question is, did you guys actually look for it? Just because you've never seen it is one thing, but did you guys actually look for it? I'm just throwing that out there. It's just a question.
Hide it from me for whatever, for months until my birthday and give it to me on my birthday. And so like 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks in a row, they still didn't buy it, right? Week 4, we go back. It's gone. So my birthday came and passed, and guess what? My parents go, we're very sorry, Philip, but we couldn't find the action figure. I said, I told you to buy the figure. Why don't you listen to me? Like, it was such a no-brainer. All they had to do was buy it then. They could have hidden it forever. I would have never bugged them for it till my birthday. I knew I was going to get it on my birthday. Because they didn't buy it, I didn't get it. I did eventually get it, but it was the second run. And, of course, now it's a year later. Do you really think that something I wanted a year ago is as valuable as, you know? But then I was already starting to move into other stuff. And, yes, I see someone asking in the chat. Yes, my parents did have the money to buy it. They were just fucking stupid. That was my depression. What pasta do you prefer? I prefer a penne. Oh!
And the funny thing is, I believe that. I actually believe that right there is like, that's one of the moments that he had that scarred him to the point where he's at now. Interesting situation to say the least. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this was a lot here. And hope you guys don't mind me going on the tantrum like that. But there's a lot here. There's a lot to go over, to be honest with you. So, glad you guys stuck in there with me. And we'll see how this goes for Phil. It's probably not going to go too well. But, you know, don't let a couple of holes in your foot stop you from saying that you're successful as you're walking forward, right? Ladies and gentlemen, this is DSP News, always late, never breaking, unreliable coverage that you can't count on. A GTG Network and Productions. I'm your host / anchor, GTG, and I'm signing off. End of broadcast. Oh my God. Who would have thought that one toy could completely and utterly destroy a man for the rest of his life? It's absolutely amazing. It'd probably be more funny if it wasn't so tragic.